Blackout. Welcome back. God bless our veterans. My name's Chuck Timbrook. Glad to have you back in our house. Tonight's episode is going to be about Benghazi, the heroes that we lost in the controversy over what happened in Libya, and no bullshit, no political guidelines, just straight up what the people in action actually had to say, and no politicians, because I don't believe what politicians say half the time anyway. Our guys who actually fight the battle is the ones that, you know, we the people need to listen to, because there's where you get your truth. And I haven't got a chance to, I got a phone call one day, and a gentleman asked me if I would like to haul a gentleman by the name of Chris Pronto. And I said, that name sounds familiar, and he said, yes. He has a conference over at the Hagerstown Community College, and he would like to ride in Blackout from the motel to the convention center. So I said, well, heck yeah, awesome. So I went over to the motel, and I got to shake hands with Chris Pronto, and hell of a guy. And we left from there, and it took us about 35-40 minutes to get from motel over to HJC, and we talked pretty much the whole trip over. And I got to know Chris pretty well. Chris is a well, to me, all veterans are heroes, so basically he don't consider himself a hero, but all veterans are heroes to me. But he definitely would be a hero in my book, no matter what. He put his life on the line, along with his buddies, to save other people's lives. And first thing I want to do is have a moment of silence for our UN ambassador, Christopher Stevens, who was burnt to death and tortured that night, and our fallen heroes who went in and tried to save them, even on a stand down. They were told to stand down, and they couldn't do it anymore after hearing the cries for help and the gunshots and the blast in the background. They took it upon themselves and went and tried to save American lives, and they did. I'd like to have a moment of silence for our fallen people in Benghazi. God bless their souls. The names on the CIA side of the, which was several buildings down. They were there on a totally different mission. It was kind of a mixture between Army and Marines and Navy SEALs and snipers. They were there with the CIA on a different mission, investigating arms deal. And it had nothing to do with the embassy at that time. And of course, when the embassy was hit, the call outs for help was pretty strong at that point. And the gentleman who decided to, even after being told to stand down while people were dying, Jack Silva, Mark Gast, John Tejan, Dave Benton, and Chris Pronto. These guys took it upon themselves to jump in a vehicle, arm up, and go, and try to rescue what they could at the embassy. When the calls got called in, basically the calls were told to stand down. It was now in the hands of Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense. And this all falls back to another part political that all explains everything, and I ain't getting into it. The only thing I can tell you is basically a lot of scandals over missiles and arms, and I'm not going to get into that part of it. But this was part of the stand down because somebody's political career was on line. So it didn't matter how many American lives was being taken, their political career was more important than American lives. God bless these guys that took it upon themselves. Guys, these guys were retired. They were not in the military anymore. They were working with the CIA as protection in a totally different building. And they went back to battle real fast. And one of the biggest scandals that was really blowed up about the whole issue was when they called in for air support. We had a C-130 gunship within 40 minutes away, and it was also told to be stood down, along with Chris and them was told to stand down, which they didn't stand down. A lot of American lives were lost because of negligence back in D.C. I'm not pinpointing one person because I'm not getting into the political side of it, but I will say a lot of mistakes cost a lot of American lives for no need over political careers. The weapons basically that some of the weapons basically that was used on our own American people was helped by certain American people, and it's a shame. When they left that compound, guys, when they left that compound, they had no idea what they were getting into. The only thing that they know was from the radio that the cries, "We can't hold them, we're all going to die, we need help." At the same time they were hearing this message, so was the drone in the air. Now hear me out. We had a drone in the air, okay, that our people back here could see. But yet, they're not going to get no air support. You think about that. All the cries that they heard that night, coming, the screams and the yelling of gunfire and blast. People back in D.C. also heard this. And then their only excuse was there was no time for help. But basically that was blown apart when they found out there was a C-130 within range. And there was probably other things close enough to get our men and women help at the embassy. But like I said, political careers overrule American lives. That's why I can't stand politics. To me, American lives is more important than anything. All lives are important. All lives are important. But more or less if you're American. because that's what we are. United, we're supposed to stand. Chris Pronto talked to me and my wife for about 35, 40 minutes on that ride. And we learned a lot. We learned a lot in that ride, and it really made the movie make more sense. And if you haven't seen the movie, you need to look up 13 Hours. The name of the movie is 13 Hours. The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi. And when I say Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, that's saying that the guys that was there for the CIA took it upon themselves and moved in to save lives, okay? You really need to see this movie. And when you see the part in the movie where it comes up to where they show the ammo, the cash dump ammo, take it upon yourself to think about what really should be on the boxes, okay? There's a lot of parts in that movie that that was actually covered up. So you'll just take it upon yourself to think about the little hints that I'm giving you. There's a lot of fraud involved in politics, and it all comes back to why our people got killed in the first place. But Chris Pronto enjoyed the ride. He had a chance to be in a limousine. They were going to do a limo ride from the motel over to HJC, and he requested to ride in Blackout, which I was honored. I was tickled to death. I was honored to have Chris Pronto ride in Blackout over to HJC. And when we arrived at HJC, we pulled up there, and of course outside there was news cameras and people. Couldn't tell you who all was there because I didn't know them. But Chris didn't get out of the truck right away. We sit there another 10 minutes and just talked. And I actually looked at Chris and I said, "Do you think I ought to get out now and come around and open your door?" And he says, "Yeah, let's do it." But he didn't want to get out of the truck. I think he just wanted to sit there and talk more. Chris was a down to earth type of guy, but he would go back and fight for our country at any moment, and he loves his country. And I got a VIP pass that night to be second row. I sat in the second row during his speech, and I really enjoyed it, hearing what all happened, and the people that sacrificed their lives to rescue Americans. And there'll be other parts in this. There'll be other parts in this that you'll if you watch the movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. There was just no support all the way to the end. No support all the way to the end from back here. It was these guys that got the job done. And even the flights home, and I'll get to that later on, even the flights home was ridiculous. But anyway, so basically when they went into the compound not knowing what they were getting into, they ran into just a hornet's nest. And the only thing that their experience gave them was move to the rooftops, and that's what they did. They moved to the rooftops. They held up what they could hold off, and then they finally started to rescue what was left of the Americans. And I'm gonna have the camera shift off me and go to the screen behind me. The pictures that I'm going to start That was my VIP pass, and that's Chris Pronto. That's Chris Pronto before he got in Blackout. And as we go through this, I didn't spare any of the pictures. Everything you see on this on these frames, this is what it looked like that night. And this is what it was back here. And this is what they were going through. The fighting, the bodies, the body counts adding up. Our lost soldiers. You guys are paying attention to these pictures. This is exactly what it looked like. If you haven't seen the movie, this was our ambassador to the UN, or to the embassy, being drugged. Let me take that back here. Yeah, this was our UN. Hold on a minute. Blow this up. Now just take this for granted, guys, right here. How about this right here, this picture? Yeah, this is our UN, or our embassy. This is our embassy guy, Stephen. Being drugged around, beat, and then eventually burnt to death. But yet, our people back here could not think nothing more about American lives and their political careers, so they let this man burn to death. Let this man be killed. All over politics. It's sad. God bless his soul. He should have never had to. He should have never had to endure what he went through. And I know if Chris Pronto and all the rest of them guys would have got there earlier, that would have never happened. And but you know, when you're told to stand down. When you're told to stand down, you have to stand down until you understand that there's American lives. We're losing American lives. And then they took it on their own, and they went and they fought. They lost some of their brothers in this battle, but they rescued the Americans from the embassy. We lost some good people. Just like any battle, any war, we lost good people. And I can't say that them guys come back on the Angel flight, because when I learned this information, it was pretty heartbreaking. But anyway, they rescued the Americans from the embassy, and they basically made it back to the CIA compound, where they continued the holdout to try to protect. And of course, at this time, the embassy was being burnt pretty well. So they held them off. I mean, they held them off, like, you know, the movie says, for 13 hours. And it was quite a heroic move on them guys. All these guys, to me, that went against the stand down and saved that American lives. I think the total was 15 to 20 or something like that they did save American lives. And And on the second part of this, after the break, they didn't even take the plane. They put the Americans on the plane before them to make sure that they got out, and they stayed there with their fallen brothers wrapped up, laying on the ground. Yeah. And it's pretty touching moment, you know. We have a lot of heroes out there, and we have a lot of people that would go back and fight for this country in the snap of fingers. And God bless them. You know, that's why they're all heroes to me, because I know if something would happen, that they would arm up and go. And that is awesome. That is awesome to actually get to shake the hands of people. Heroes in my book, all of them. Okay, guys, I'm going to take a break, and I'll be back with the second half of Benghazi, 13 hours, and our heroes, our Secret Service, our secret soldiers that moved into Benghazi and rescued American lives like you ain't never heard it. And you ain't going to hear it on the movie either, but you're going to hear it here. If you haven't watched 13 Hours, you need to watch it. 13 Hours, the Secret Soldiers, Benghazi. I'll give you hints what to look for, and you'll understand where I'm coming from. I'll be back. House of Blackout. Chuck Temple.